Great to see everybody. Appreciate everybody being with us here. It's nice to see you guys out at practice over there, and that means we're back to football, I guess. So we're excited about that. It was good to be on the field. Players were enthusiastic. We've been working really hard the last 2 days. Hard, smart. I feel like the guys have been great in terms of doing it the way it's supposed to be done in terms of the mental part of it and technique part of it and avoiding any of the physical contests or anything like that. And they've done a great job of that. So I really feel good about all of it and try to get better every day. That's our goal, get a little bit better every day and see where it takes us. So what questions do you have?
Jameson? Hey, John, as you know.
Lost you there, Jameson.
All right. Can you hear me?
So you're breaking up a little bit. Now I can, yeah.
Okay. What during these camps, what are you hoping that Lamar can? What is there a focus for Lamar during these camps? Because this is something he didn't have last year.
Oh yeah, I mean I think the focus for Lamar, really like everybody, it depends on your position, is just to improve in terms of the fundamentals of the game. And quarterback, there's a lot to that. There's the actual, just taking the snap, the footwork on the ball handling, the footwork on the various dropbacks, play action, dropback passes, movement passes. The mechanics of throwing the ball, the reads, the checks. I mean, it's just endless at that position. So you work all the way across the board on that stuff and try to have the best day you can and try to improve, 1% we say every single day. And then, it's a metaphor, obviously, but that's the goal, to keep getting better. But that goes for every single position. So you really can't pinpoint one thing. There's numerous things that you have to be working on all at the same time.
Sean?
Hey, Coach. Just wondering if you could share just the attendance numbers for this week. I know they're voluntary, and your thoughts on your attendance, if you're happy with that or leaves something to be desired. I don't know.
No, I mean, yeah, I appreciate the question. It's not something that I don't know the numbers today. I haven't heard. I'm sure I will. We keep track for organizational purposes and the testing on the COVID stuff and meals and everything else, but and organizing our weightlifting and stuff. So I'll know what they are, but it's up around 80 somewhere, I think. Just to give you a ballpark figure, give or take a few guys. Happy with the guys, happy with the work. Coaches are excited to coach. Players are excited to prepare and get better, and it's been great. It's been a lot of fun.
Morgan?
Yeah, Coach, I just have a little follow-up on that one. Last month, through the NFLPA statement, it maybe looked like that wasn't going to happen. Were there any conversations you had to have to convince guys to show up, or is there anything that's happening differently now with OTAs because of the pandemic to get more guys in-house, or nothing?
Really, Morgan, nothing. There's nothing that I had any conversations or any of our coaches did. It's a voluntary camp. I think the guys understand. I can't speculate on different guys thinking. I mean, the guys that aren't here, I really wouldn't expect to be here. Veteran guys, especially D linemen, those guys, there's not that much for them to do at this camp. So, I understand it if they're not here, and the fact that the guys are here, that's great. And there really was not much conversation. One thing we have talked a lot about is the vaccination, stuff. Not in terms of trying to influence anybody, but in terms of understanding, what will be required if you're vaccinated or not vaccinated. Those are kind of the biggest conversations we've had along those lines.
Jeff? Might be struggling with your audio again, Jeff. Jerry?
Oh, I keep benefiting from Jeff's Wi-Fi. It's great. Coach, as far as the timing of the practice, I guess it was predetermined, but did you like the fact that it was in the middle of the day in 95 and these guys that aren't in shape found out real quickly?
Well, it's just not my nature to put the negative spin on it like it is yours, but that's okay. It was great in the sense it was noon. I don't think we had anybody not in shape, honestly. I mean, I felt like our guys really did a great job. I mean, they got through it really well. They pushed through it. They practiced fast. They stayed out of the collisions. They just did a really good job. I was really happy with. Now, hey, football-wise, Jerry, there's so many things we can get better at. We need to get better at. We got to keep working on. But from that standpoint, yeah, there is a callousing that goes on. You certainly, there's a football shape, and you only can really get into the football shape by being out there doing football movements. And I think in the long run, that's That's how you stay safe. You callus up the football movements, to change the direction, leaning on each other a little bit. We build up into camp. Eventually we put the pads on. All those things. Eventually you have live games in preseason. So that's all part of the process, and this is a great part of the process.
All right, Jeff, I'm pulling for you. I know you can do it this time.
Hope you can hear me, John. Two things. Rashad, thank you. We saw Rashad Bateman out there. Is everything okay with him? And Patrick Ricard was out there. How has he progressed?
Right. Patrick is doing well, and he should be back out there in the individual very soon. Rashad, yeah, kind of precautionary. You know, guys have been, they were here. He was here all last week with the rookies. There's some soreness, some muscle soreness, things like that. We want to make sure we have recovery, and I think just from a standpoint of we're going to be very precautionary at this time and make sure we get the guys the recovery they need and not too many reps. So that was the idea there. So there's no injury, but we want to make sure it stays that way, and with the muscle stuff, soft tissue stuff.
Ryan?
Hey, Coach, obviously your offensive linemen are kind of bouncing around, getting work at different spots. With Bradley Bozeman at center, what do you like with him being there? What have you noticed so far with him at there? And do you plan to get him a lot of reps over OTAs just to get him back into that kind of college mode where he played?
Right, yeah. I mean, he's looking really good. 2 days in, he looks good. I don't think it's really anything doesn't seem hard for him. He seems very comfortable in there. He's making the calls. He's moving very naturally as a center. He's snapping the ball very well. I think that's where we're at. That'll be our starting point, and moving forward, he'll be the center, and then we'll let guys compete from there. But he's our starting center today, and we'll see where it goes. But I have a lot of confidence in Brad, and I think he's doing a great job, and I'm very excited about it, honestly. I'm looking forward to seeing how this offensive line shapes up.
All right, guys, we have time for two more. We'll go Bobby Trossett, then Luke Jones.
Hey, Coach, is there an extra emphasis on the year two rising sophomore, if you will, players, given that last year they didn't have a chance to get after these camps?
That's a great point. You know, those guys didn't have any rookie mini camp. They had no OTAs, no mini camp. They had a very short training camp. So, guys, there's so much for these guys. And I can tell you, they're excited. I mean, you see those guys out there like Prochet and even Boykin, the third-year guys. I mean, those guys are excited about it, who missed out last year. You know, that's first to second year, and now with the second to third year, guys not having it. I think those guys, I really expect those guys to make progress. I expect those guys to be a lot better at the end of these sessions than they are going in. And they feel the same way. It sure seems like by the way they're working.
Luke?
Hey, John, saw you talking to Nick Boyle at one point during practice. How's he progressing, and how valuable is it just having him there when you have, a pretty big group of young tight ends that are trying to compete for a roster spot?
Yeah, Nick, he was joking with me yesterday. He said, he wouldn't rather be anywhere else, so he didn't have to be out there, but he was out there. And today he was kind of leaning on the ball, and I tried to somewhat gently kick it out of his grasp, and he laughed at me. He said, "You have to kick a lot harder than that, show him how strong he is," he said. So, hey, man, he looks good, and really can't wait to see him out there practicing. I don't know when it's going to be. I'll probably keep him out of these sessions, but he seems like he's chomping at the bit.